If you were like so many of us, you know what to do. You just can't seem to do it, right? And somewhere along the way, maybe you decided that means there's something wrong with you. My friend, I am here to tell you that it does not. So, welcome back to Radiantly Rooted. I am your host, Rachel Klein, and I am so glad that you're here. I want to start today with a question. We are about halfway through the year. Can you believe it? Halfway through the year. Are you halfway to where you wanted to be this year? And I know that's going to mean different things to every one of us, but I invite you to just sit with that for a second. And it's not to judge, just to notice, to bring in that awareness. Are you halfway to where you wanted to be this year? I've run into some of my listeners recently, and I cannot tell you how much it means to me to hear how much this work has meant to you. Somebody asked me, how do you find your way through the messy middle? What are the real steps? And so, even though it can be unique for each of us, I thought, you know what? That's exactly what I want to talk about today. Because so many of us are standing right in the middle, literally and figuratively. We're in the middle of the year. Many of us are towards the middle of our lives, the middle of something big, some kind of transition that might be between a role that we have outgrown for whatever reason and where we're heading, who we're becoming, wondering how we got a little lost, how we lost touch with ourselves along the way. So let's talk about it. Now, here's what I hear from so many women. And to be honest with you, it's what I've lived myself. And it's that feeling of just going through the motions, moving through your day on autopilot. You are feeling like you're putting out fires all day, taking care of everybody else. And by the end of the day, there's nothing left for you. Somewhere along the way, you lost touch with who you really are at your core and your heart. And that can show up in some really real ways, really real. But the way it shows up sometimes is maybe you snap at the people that you love over something small that you really don't care about. And it's not because you care too much, but it's because your tank is empty. You don't care too much, you just care an awful lot. Maybe you find yourself lying awake at night. Your mind is just looping through everything that you should have done, everything you still need to do. Or maybe you've stopped making plans with your friends because it feels like one more thing on a calendar that is already overflowing. I see you. Let's take a deep breath together. Let it go. And I invite you to hear this clearly because it is not your fault. It's not your fault. We were all handed this idea that we should be able to do it all. You have to be the perfect mom, the perfect partner, the successful professional, and somehow still find time for your health, your well being, for yourself. We were never meant to do this much. We were never meant to do it all. Nobody teaches us how to navigate a midlife transition. And that transition can look like so many different things. It might be a change with a partner or a friend, a change in your work or your role. Maybe your children are getting older. Maybe you just had a kid. Maybe the kids are moving out and they don't need you in the way that they used to. Maybe you finally have time for yourself again and you don't know what to do with it. You might be retired, finding yourself busier than you've ever been, wondering how you ever had time to work. Wherever you are, whatever it is, there's no one map. We're all just figuring it out as we go. So if you feel lost, you are not failing, you are human. And let me tell you, you are in good company. Most of the women that I work with are right here with you, and so am I in some ways. And so the most important thing that I can tell you is this: it doesn't have to stay this way. We can find our way back to ourselves, and it can start with something simple. You've probably heard me talk about this before if you've been here before, but it's the power of the pause. The power of the pause. Because in this busy life of go, 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 do, 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 when you let yourself pause, slow down, even for a moment, something begins to shift. Imagine with me, if you will, that you could rise up in the air in the sky like a hawk flying through the clouds, and you can look down on your whole life from above. Can you see it? From up there, you can finally see it. The places you've been pouring yourself out, and the parts of you that have been waiting for you to come back. It might be like a fog lifting. And from that place, you're not just reacting to your life anymore. Anybody else feel like they're stuck in that reactive mode? Give me a hands up in the comments. You start to remember what matters to you, what matters most. You begin to wake up with a little more purpose, a little less anxiety. The small moments that you used to rush right past, your first sip of coffee, the sky when you drive home, they start to feel like yours again. You have more energy for the people and the things that you love because you're learning to say no to what drains you and yes to what lights you up. This is the return, the unbecoming, the becoming, not a brand new you, the you who's been there the whole time. So, how do we actually begin? We start small. We start with a pause. You've probably heard me talk about this before, like I said, but it's so powerful, the power of the pause. And it's not about some big dramatic life change. It's not quitting your job or running off to an ashram. Don't worry. But it is a small daily act of stopping, even for a minute, and turning your attention, your awareness back towards yourself. Asking, how am I really? And to see what bubbles up for you. How am I really? What do I need right now? What do I need right now? Simple, right? Not easy. But the more often you do it, the more you start to hear your own voice again. You start to hear your own voice again underneath all of the outside noise, all the things that we should be doing, all the things that we need to be doing, all the people who need us. You start to hear your own voice again. And so today, I want to give you a simple practice, and I encourage you to do it this week to begin. And this is one of my favorites. I call it a letter to your future self. Now, here's how it works. Find a few minutes to yourself, 15 minutes, half an hour, maybe even an hour, somewhere where you can get comfortable. You might put on your favorite pajamas, your favorite slippers, maybe set the mood with a cup of tea or light a candle. And if it feels okay, if you're in a safe space with me right now, if you're not driving, I invite you to either soften down or close your eyes for just a moment. Okay? Take a breath, let it go, and then just breathe mindfully. And then think about, picture yourself on December 31st of this year. Not the to do list version of you, but the real you. Can you see her? Who is she? That version of you, 6 months from now or so, December 31st. Who is she? And you can listen to this again when you're actually journaling if you want to, but who has she become? That future you, 6 months from now? What has she let go of? What is she finally making room for? How does it feel to be her? If your eyes are closed, you can open them back up. Maybe take a pause to look around you, notice something new, a color, something that makes you smile. Be here now. And then when you're ready, and again, I encourage you to listen to this again when you can actually go through this exercise, but open your journal up and write to her, to that woman on December 31st of this year. Tell her what you hope she's living. Tell her who you're becoming. Pour your heart out. Nobody else has to see this but you. This isn't just daydreaming, my friend. It's you giving yourself permission to want again. And for so many of us, that permission is everything. That letter becomes a kind of compass that you can keep coming back to all the way to the end of the year. Because this is your one life. So let me ask you, The way I ask myself, does it feel the way you want it to feel? Your life, your one life. I've been sharing a Mary Oliver quote in my yoga classes this week. You probably know it. It's from The Summer Day, and it's, tell me, what is it you plan to do with this one wild and precious life? Does your life feel the way you want it to feel? Does it look the way you want it to look? And if not, this is the moment right here, right now, in the middle to gently begin steering it back toward you. And here's the thing, that letter is a beautiful beginning, but the real shift doesn't come from one big puff, this one action, one session. It comes from the small pauses, the intentional pauses that you take every single day. And that's actually why I made you a little gift. It's called Daily Pause Points, and it is a simple free guide to weaving tiny moments of pause into your ordinary day so that coming home to yourself stops being one more thing on your to do list and starts becoming the way that you actually live. It's my gift to you. You'll find the link in the show notes below. So grab that and let that be your next small step. And so, my friend, if everything we've talked about today is starting something deeper within you, if some part of you is ready to really come home to yourself, not someday, but now, I want you to know that the doors to Radiantly Rooted are open now through June 30th for our summer cohort. And this is my signature program. It is the slow, supported journey back to yourself through yoga, through mindfulness, and the practices that help you feel more grounded and alive, more purpose and presence in your own life again. Now, when I talk about guiding you through yoga, I'm not talking so much about the asana because the postures are a very small part of yoga. And they're a very small part of Radiantly Rooted too, which might surprise you. Instead, we focus on the philosophy, the lifestyle of yoga, the chakras, the energy centers in the body. We are practicing being kinder to yourself, living and moving through your days with more intention. It's what helps you feel grounded and alive in your own life again. So if you have been waiting for a sign to choose yourself, to steer your life in a new direction, to come back home to you, let this be your sign. And that link's going to be in the show notes too. So wherever you are today, whether you grab the free guide, whether you join me in Radiantly Rooted, maybe you join me for one-on-one if you want to go deeper. Maybe you write that letter to yourself and you offer yourself a big loving breath in and out. Please don't let the second half of this year slip by on autopilot. Give yourself the power of the pause, the peace that comes with presence. You are the same amazing woman you've always been. Sometimes we just need a reminder. So let this be yours. You're the same amazing woman you've always been. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'll see you next time.